Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me live, it's, a football Friday. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube that you are liking and subscribing. We're getting close to that 2,000 subscribers. I'll keep saying that until we're at 2,000 subscribers. And then you'll probably hear me say something like, hey, help us get to 3,000. That's kind of how it works. I'm convinced that we as a people, and I like to say we because I am not immune from this. When I make criticisms or if I make observations, you'll usually hear me say we because, I'm human as well. But I believe that we have blind spots, especially in sports. And our blind spots are so dangerous in sports. And I'll explain why. It's because our blind spots come from irrational or illogical thinking about the game. The thing that makes us great as athletes is sometimes the thing that is really our downfall. We find it hard to see flaws. There are a bunch of wide receivers out here in the NFL who really believe they could be the number one receiver on a team because they don't see the flaws that people on the outside see. There are a bunch of backup quarterbacks who should not even be in the NFL who really and truly believe that they are NFL caliber starting quarterbacks because they don't see the flaws that we or their coaches see. That's a blind spot. That's where you think everything is good, but there's something there. We do it in relationships. Oh man, she's so beautiful. Oh, she's got this great personality. She keeps me on my toes. Blase, blase. We talk about how engaging she can be, but we are missing that one thing that makes that thing that is the fatal flaw that person might have. And in relationships, that can be devastating. You can end up wasting several years of your life with somebody whom you should not be with because you're blind to that one thing. As coaches, we do it. I talked about it a little yesterday about how when we evaluate players or even as evaluators, when we look at players and we like them, so we're willing to overlook or we're willing to forgive. Sometimes it's not that we're willing to overlook or forgive it. It's just that we don't see it. And it happens with our teams. There are coaches right now coaching teams who believe they should be better because they don't see the fatal flaw within their program. That flaw could be you just don't have enough talent. And so what happens when you finally discover your blind spot? What happens when you can no longer, when the wool has been removed, when the veil has been removed, when everything has revealed itself? What happens? How do you then become the best you can as a coach? How do you then run a program? How do you become a better athlete? How do you become, look around professional sports. And in no place is it more evident than in the NFL, where a guy like Cole Beasley, who is a talented receiver, but not a star, who's a talented receiver, but not like irreplaceable. Cole Beasley is rolling around the NFL as if there are no consequences for his actions. He's talking like he's Kaepernick, like he's standing up for the little guy. I'm standing up for the little guy. We are not taking these vaccines. I'm going to put everybody's life in jeopardy, livelihood in jeopardy, on my team when I have spent my entire life being vaccinated with stuff. Just think about that. Athletes, more than anybody else that's healthy, have had people stick them and inject more things into them because of athletics than anybody else on the planet. And yet, Cole Beasley and others, but he's the most, I guess he's the most famous athlete who is just being extremely outspoken on it, are rolling around as if someone's trying to inject them with the Ebola virus. As someone who's been vaccinated, I can tell you, I'm still here. If they put a microchip in there, guess what? They didn't need to. I have service with every social media, streaming, whatever you could have. So they see what's going on in my life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have Alexa in my house. When I get home, Alexa lights up. I don't say Alexa. And for some reason, she always hears me.
Contraction of does not and contraction of do not.
Listen, she heard me on my phone, and I wasn't even talking to her. So I can tell you, as someone who's vaccinated, if there is something going on, I'm still here. There's been no problems. But Cole Beasley is rolling around here as if he's irreplaceable. Cole Beasley is running around the NFL after Julio Jones just got traded. If the Atlanta Falcons will trade Julio Jones, arguably the best player in the history of their team, then anybody's expendable. He's rolling around there after his teammate was just traded from Minnesota to Buffalo. That's how they got so good in the first place. He's not on their level. So yes, Cole Beasley had 100+ targets last year. But yes, they just brought in Emmanuel Sanders. And guess who can do what Cole Beasley does? Probably at a higher level, because he has other dimensions to his game. Emmanuel Sanders. Cole Beasley has a blind spot. Somewhere in his brain, he's told himself that he is more valuable than what he really is. And because he's told himself that he's more valuable than what he really is, he doesn't really seem to be afraid of losing his job, which is interesting to me because the NFL is the worst paying professional sports job out there of the major professional sports. Soccer, basketball, not MLS, but we're talking about like the highest level of soccer. Soccer, basketball, baseball, all pay better. They all pay better. Hockey, they at least have guaranteed contracts in hockey. You can't even say that for football. So yes, hockey pays better. Unless you're a quarterback, who are the only people who are making almost guaranteed money, unless you're a quarterback, everybody else is living a life that you need to keep making this money in order to get to what I consider to be that generational wealth line. And yet Cole Beasley, with the golden ticket, sitting around here talking about he don't need to take no vaccine and these people are trying to oppress him. Listening to a white man who wants to be a rapper talk about oppression just makes my skin crawl. Get out of here with that. I'm not here to argue whether or not you believe you should be getting vaccinated or not. That's not what I'm here for. If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's on you. I have people I love. They don't want to get vaccinated. That's on them. They have to live their life. I'm not saying whether you should or should not. I'm telling you that the requirements of a job, when you go to the job, that job will require you to do things. And you have the opportunity to say no, but that means you're not going to get that job. When you're going to go travel abroad forever, depending on where you went, you had to take vaccines. Vaccines I've never even heard of, but vaccines that all of you have willingly took in order to go to those places. And now Cole Beasley, amongst other NFL players, in the most heavily contact sport, in a place where you have to, in a sport where you have to spend so much time in close quarters, deciding that they don't want to get vaccinated and then beating their chest about it. Not just being quiet about it, but being demonstrative about it, as if they are standing up for the little guy's rights. No, idiot, you're not. What you are doing is showing that you have a blind spot, because when you get infected and they get you up out of there and now you're radioactive, you have just torn up your golden ticket. And I hope you're okay with it, because you won't be a Kaepernick. People won't remember you fondly. People won't say that you stood up for something that meant things. They're going to laugh at you, and they're going to ridicule you, and they're going to talk. You're going to become a cautionary tale. And I hope you're okay with that. Happy Friday, everybody. This has been Talk Spicy, a football Friday, at least a high school football Friday, although there will be some NFL preseason games today. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you are watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Stay tuned for I've got a cover 3 tutorial that I'm doing later on. That'll be dropping on my YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out. And follow me on all social media at Gene Clemens. We'll see you next time. Peace.